discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Fat Nice Nerd Run-Throughs, and we are continuing on with Top 100. This time it is 70 to 61. Where's my 61? It's 70 to 61. No, it's, 61. God, why am I so stupid? Alright, so on to 70. My number 70 is, might be on your list, I don't know if it will be, is Small World. Small World is a fantastic area control game that I wouldn't go so far as beer and pretzels. Like, there's strategy to it, but it's so fantastical that I wouldn't put it on top of like Blood Rage or something. Like, the theme itself is just funny, not really funny, but light. One of my favorite things about this game is the fact that the replayability is not infinite, but just the base game. The abilities along with the types of races that you can use just can go in any way, and then you're limited on that. If you want to try and bid for them and be like, okay, this will be a good one and it'll help me, you know, in controlling these areas, that's really the game. Like, the game just centers around the races. Like, the spaces don't do anything, and it's unique in the sense that you're placing them on these spots, and then you kind of like draw them back again, and you start spreading out again.
That's what I was going to say. I think the tricky part of that game is knowing when to go into decline.
Yeah.
That's knowing when you spread yourself about thin enough to go into decline.
Yep. And there's one race that, like, it was like the ghosts or the spirits or something, and like they can't die, like, but there's like 4 of them, so you're for sure gonna get 4 of, like, you're for sure gonna get points, just not a lot of points. Right. And that can just be in combination with a bunch of others. And they come out with a whole bunch of other expansions. I've done Underground, or Underworld, whichever one it was called. I didn't really care for that one. They've done one, I think they're releasing one where it's like flying.
Yeah, that was the one that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, so there's that. And then they have another one which is like Riverside, or River World.
Rivers and, yeah, I know it's...
So I don't know about that one, but I have all of the other small box expansions as well. So that's my number 70.
My number 70 was on your list earlier.
Alright. Alright, it is Time Stories. I was just sitting there like, Yeah. I opened up to Defenders, I'm like, that's not it. Then Innovation, I'm like, that's not it.
I have Time Stories on there for all the same reasons, even though I've only played through the first 2. Mm-hmm.
The first 2 are really good.
Right.
Like, I mean, which one did you like better, Mark's Case or Asylum?
Asylum.
Okay, yeah, I liked Asylum better too.
So, I mean, there really is not much more to say about that. It's a good game. I have all the rest of the stuff for it. Just trying to figure out.
How's the family liking it? Oh, they just don't want to go to the dragon one.
Yeah, the theme of it. So, I mean,
right.
I think if I just kind of, get them over that hump, then
just
I think
force them. Just be like, just do it, and then we can go to the next one.
Because I have one kiddo that loves ancient Egypt stuff, so that'll come into that.
That's a shame.
Well, I know, but I just mean, like, at least it'll get them to play it.
Right,
right. That's the thing. And then,
just explain to them and be like, hey, we can't go to the Egypt one if you don't do this one.
Right. So, but yeah, that's my 70.
Do it, Dad. You're like, you're grounded. You can always ground him. Be like, you know what? You're not going to your tennis thing.
Yeah, right.
Because you won't play this game with me. All right, 69. I'm 12. Is Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu.
Jesus.
Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu.
It's higher than Legacy.
Huh?
It's higher
That's
than
true,
Legacy.
because it's better than Legacy. Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu, I justify putting it on this list because it is different enough from the base game of Pandemic that I feel like, hey, if you're, I would say you can own all types of Pandemic. Like, you can own the base game, you can own Cthulhu, you can own Legacy and all that, and it's not the same iteration.
I agree, because it takes a lot of components to build an outhouse.
You had, dang it, New York 1901 on your list. Come on. Anyway, Reign of Cthulhu is really good, and it does everything different enough with the ancient ones that will slowly awaken over time, and I feel like it's a lot more gateway-ish as well. Like I feel like this one is a lot more easier to actually get into, even though Pandemic is easy to get into as well. It's a smaller board, so you're not doing as much, and there's not different cities that you're trying to get to. It's literally just the 4 types of areas: Innsmouth, Kingsport, Arkham, and Dunwich. You just go to those 4, and that's it. And then, like I said, the ancient ones come up, and they start throwing a wrench in things. And the inlay was super weird. I felt like that they were going to do like expansions with it, like really just add more ancient ones, and I'd be happy. So that's my number 69.
My 69 is a very mean game.
Is it?
Has not been mentioned yet.
Is it Cutthroat Caverns?
It is.
Oh.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yes.
See, your list is starting to get better.
I love Cutthroat Caverns. I used to have everything for it.
I do have everything for it. Actually, I have the new expansion too.
What's the newest one?
It adds the 7 deadly sins.
Okay, see, I haven't got anything since the fresh meat deals.
That was the only one after that one.
I played it once with my family, and and it did not go very well. But it's several other people that I game with have it, so I didn't feel the need to keep it. I think it's a blast. It's mean as shit.
Oh yeah.
You get butt hurt in it pretty.
I've stayed away from doing it on my channel because if I die, it's people watching my channel, and I'm not there.
I think it would be a good game to make an iPad app for.
You think?
I think it'd be fun.
I think it'd be a good game to every time you take damage, you take a shot.
Oh yeah.
You're just like I'm so wasted.
So I guess to speak about it a little bit, is you're a hero and you are working together but not really together because you want to be the person that lays the killing blow on the bad guy at the time to get the reward.
The prestige.
So if you're putting out something that's going to kill him, somebody may say, oh, you tripped on a twig, or oh, you slipped and fell, or whatever.
But you need to survive the entire cavern to win. So if you all die, then...
So it's you want to work together up to a point, and then you want to be able to be the person that...
Right, and they added 2 stories to it. They have events, which I like a lot, as well. Not just, hey, here's the monster, and then fight the monster. They're all unique. One complaint I do have is like the art is either really good, or it's like, okay, your child clearly drew this. Why would you let him do that? I need to organize the box. The inlay is just garbage.
Yeah, that was one.
That was like, they did a big box, the fresh meat expansion, and then it's like, you didn't really help anyone with all this stuff.
There's still stuff not fitting.
They need to be sleeved.
And then when I got the fresh meat expansion, the cards were
misshaped.
I had to get a new set of cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because at that time, because when it came out, I bought it that first run.
Yeah.
And he had gotten on, somebody put it on BGG, and what's the Tom Covert is his last name?
I don't.
I think Tom Covert is the guy that created it, or he's the Smart and Daggers guy. He got on there and just like, message me.
Gotcha.
With this, and I'll send you a new set of cards to make them
same size. I didn't even know that they did that. I'll probably just sleeve them.
I mean, it's like a couple millimeters.
It's like annoying though.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a good choice. My number 68 is it's a game that I know I've mentioned to you before, but you probably haven't played. The Cave.
All I know is what you said.
Okay, so The Cave is a game about, I think they're called speleologists, which is just cave explorers. A Euro-style game where literally all you're doing is getting enough resources, either rope or food. You need food to be able to go out into the cave, and if you run out of food, it takes forever to get back to the camp. And you can like pack up, and you're either trying to get points for taking pictures, for descending as far as possible, let's see, exploring water, and just a bunch of other different stuff. And the game the cave is laid out through tiles, so you never really know what you're going to find whenever you're going down a crevice. And originally it seems like it'd be one of those games that you're not going to be into, but I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun. The game it didn't come with, but it was like, hey, go here for a soundtrack, and it's like just cave ambiance, which really immerses you into the story. And like, I remember last time I played, John was going down, and they have what they call squeezes, which is like, okay, level 1, 2, and 3, which are how many action points it takes. And he was going, it was like 2, and then he went again, and it was like 3, and he went all the way down only to find a dead end. And he had to like traverse back. It was it was a bad time. You get points for going through those squeezes though. You get like little tokens, but just to find nothing on that end was awesome. So that's my number 68, The Cave.
My number 68 is a game you own.
Okay.
But you probably haven't played it. It's one that you own and haven't played.
Jeez. There's a lot. City of Horror? Okay.
It's Battles of Westeros. Have you played that?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew you owned it. I didn't know if you played it.
Yeah. I owned it for a while.
All right. Battles of Westeros is.
I didn't think it was going to be this
my
high.
68.
I didn't think it'd be on your list.
I love Command and Colors games.
Well, you're right.
That
you
deal.
mentioned that with...
I love Game of Thrones. You know, I had everything for this. All the Bannerman
Did
packs.
you? Oh, man.
Everything.
You sold it all, didn't you?
I had the... What do you have? Just the base box?
I just have the base box.
See,
Everything else I couldn't find.
I had the base box. I bought the Baratheon huge big box with a couple hundred soldiers in it. I had all the... everything. But all of the only part that I played was the base box, though. Everything else was still in shrink and everything.
Gotcha.
I sold it. Because I got rid of all of it.
Yeah.
And when they stopped making it.
So you obviously don't love Game of Thrones as much.
I do.
Or
but it's
that Command and
for the
Colors.
same reason I don't own Battlelore. 2-player game.
Oh,
and the theme is...
yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to play Game of Thrones with me.
Did your family not like Game of Thrones?
They've never watched it.
Gotcha.
You know, so, and this is a game more so than, like, well, a lot of games. I mean, this is deep into the Game of Thrones book stuff.
Yes, it is, which is what makes it great.
It's not the movie.
You mean the show?
The show, I mean. But it's, these battles that you do are stuff that, if you're just strictly a show watcher, you're not going to know what these battles necessarily are. They may get brought up here and there throughout the TV series, but it's a lot more in depth than Memoir 44.
Oh, yes,
or less,
it is.
Because there's the whole I can't remember what they call it necessarily, but if you have a leader or a person close, then they get that bonus.
Yep.
There's the flanking deal. There's all this stuff.
There's a lot more.
It's much more complex than Memoir and Battlelore and stuff like that. Yeah. In the end of the day, like I said, I just played through all of the scenarios at the base box.
Right. I think I've only played like 2.
If you ever buy it, because you had to put all your models together, right?
Yes.
See, when I bought the base box, I bought it used, so the guy had already made it all.
Man, lucky.
And then I bought the Baratheon and all that stuff, and I realized, shit, I have to put all this stuff together.
It's so bad because the pieces,
so tiny.
They're tiny and like they go in their stands, and the pieces either don't fit just right, like they're too big or they're too small, and half the time I had to use super glue to keep them in.
Well, and then I also bought the premium banner pack too, the plastic banners instead of using the cardboard deal. It was really cool. I wish I would have got to play it more. I put it above Battlelore just because it's theme more. It's more realistic battling on the field.
It is. It really is.
I mean, I know fantasy's never going to be real, but
but
this is like humans fighting humans.
Yeah,
not
like an ogre fighting a troll or something. Right. Okay. 67 is okay. Fair enough. Near and far.
Wow.
Right? I'm trying to think. Okay, so I think I remember why. So near and far, the reason why it is high on this list is because I dismissed the campaign segment. I'm attributing my feelings towards near and far because we rushed the campaign, and I don't think the campaign is that good. You do the same thing each time. But, so what I focused on and how I put this on the list is I focused on that very first game we played, which was awesome. Like, playing the first game, like, Kat was like, this may be one of my favorite games now. Because we all explored and we all got to do what we wanted to do. It wasn't that bum rush for just camps. I just need to get the points. It's like, that's stupid. That's so fucking stupid. The game itself is about exploration. And yes, you want to do the camps and get points, but like, you want to explore the land and have fun doing that, which is what we did the first game. And that's why, like, I liked it enough, and like I could compare it. At that time, I was like, this might be better than Above and Below. That map is really cool, and like the stories are really well written. I like the fact that they have side quests. I like the fact that they have keywords, so you can potentially have a even more in-depth quest. The worker placement and everything of it works really well. It's solid. Just that camp thing and like the trade routes started becoming just like aggressive, and I didn't care for that.
Right.
So, and the fact that they have the character mode where it's specific quests for your character. So, yeah, talk about it more. I understand why it's at 67 now, because it's still a really good Ryan Lochte game. I would still say it's his second best game. Like, I'd probably put Above and Below higher, and then this one, and then Islebound. No, actually, I'd probably put 8 Minute Empire above Islebound.
Have you played Artifacts Inc.?
No, I haven't.
That was pretty good. I only played it once, so I really couldn't compare it.
Right, but City of Iron would probably be my least favorite one of his.
Yeah.
So that's 67.
My 67 is a little tile placement game called Voluspa.
Ah, okay.
You've played that.
Yes, I have.
Voluspa is in the Norse mythology,
Yep.
as we call it. So it has like Thor and Odin and Loki and all that stuff, and each tile has its own special power, and you're going to have, I think, 7 tiles in front of you, or 5, whatever. You have a certain number of tiles in front of you, and on your turn you're going to place the tile and score points if it scores anything. So you just have to make sure like a line or a column or a row cannot be longer than 7 tiles.
You got to make sure that happens.
Right. So it's just really cool and strategic because there's certain tiles that cover up other tiles, or there's the Loki one zeroes out everything around them. Yeah. So it's like, and then the expansion just adds even more craziness. Yeah, there's I think it's called, don't quote me on this, I think it's Among the Gods or something. It adds some more creatures and stuff to it. It's a really cheap small box. Yeah. But it's just a blast.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, take theme totally out of the equation.
Oh yeah. It's not a theme game at all.
Right. No, it was a lot of fun until we realized we were playing it wrong, and we had like 15 in a row. And we're like, geez, and like Kevin was like getting 30 points a tile. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let's put a Valkyrie down here and 15 tiles down, put another Valkyrie.
That was exactly it, because that's what we were doing. I was like, Jesus. And then John's like, oh, you can only have 7.
I will say the biggest problem with this game is the AP aspect, because when it gets down to the end, you're pretty much like really sitting there like, okay, I've got to figure out what's the best way for this one tile to go down to. So you're like, this will give me 5 points. This will give me 5 points. 6. I'll put it here. Yeah. But then like, oh, I don't want to put that there because I know he's going to put out.
Or I can't put it. Or I can't put it there because there's Loki there now, and
right. Or the troll that won't let you set stuff next to him. And stuff. It's just there's a lot of for just being a tile placement game. It's really strategic.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I don't own it, so that's why I didn't think about putting it on my list. 66 is Legends of Andor. So.
I still need to play this.
Legends of Andor is a really good game. I owned it. It was one of the first games I bought ever, and played up to the 3rd story, and then I sold it. I don't know why I sold it, but then I got it back again, and then I just got all the expansions for it.
Cosmos has it now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And so they're actually about to release a 3rd one, which is like a final, like the finale. I guess the story is overarching and connects. This one isn't more, it's not really a strategy, it's more just a puzzle. Like you need to figure out, okay, how are these creatures, because they're all swarming the castle, and your hero's defending the castle, and you don't want to go in and just slaughter everyone because you'll lose that way. So you want to be able to pick, okay, who can I kill and get away with, while also fulfilling the objective and following the story. And it's not, I mean, I guess kind of tower defense, but they all move in a certain path and pattern, and they'll hop over each other, so you can get connections where one's going to move and then he just hops all the way to the castle, and you can lose that way. But I like that mentality.
So I was listening to a podcast that was talking about this.
Okay.
And they explained it as a racing game.
Really?
So would that make any sense to you?
It would, because if you don't move quick enough, they will hopscotch in, and depending on the number of players, you can only have so many of them get into the castle before you lose. You can go out and rescue citizens that will increase that number, that threshold. But yeah, no, actually, essentially, it is a racing game.
I was just curious because it didn't seem like, you know.
It doesn't sound like it would be, no, and to like anyone who starts playing it, they wouldn't immediately think race.
Right.
But yeah, I would say it is, and that's fine because the games aren't that long, and it actually does a smart thing. The tutorial is actually you playing. The first mission is the tutorial.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard, that you learn it, the rules as you play.
Yep, as you play, which is really good. And the combat is really cool. Each hero has their own like dice that they roll and ability that they have, and you can equip them up. And it's really nice because they have a male and female side of the same type. And also, if you get a shield, you place a shield token on your person. It looks like they're holding it. Just aesthetically pleasing. And the game works very, very well. So I enjoy it quite a bit. So 66, Legends of Andor.
My 66 is the heaviest game so far on my list. And I think you played it.
I don't know.
You may have played it though. It's by Stonemaier Games.
Euphoria?
Yes.
Nope, haven't played it. It's on my shelf of games I need to play.
Yes. So you own it?
I do own it.
Okay. Do you have the deluxe version or the regular? See, I have the regular version too. I wanted the deluxe version.
No, I just have the regular.
This game, I did not play this game. I did not buy this game until after I played Scythe.
Okay.
Because I was like, well, I like because in Scythe, you know how it has the choice cards where you can choose it. It's in this too.
Okay.
He used it in Euphoria before that. So
Gotcha.
That was where he got that mechanic from.
Okay.
So pretty much what you are trying to create Euphoria, right? So you're trying to make a equilibrium of the society. You know, there's the people that live down in the doldrums. There's the people that live here, and there's like the sky people. They have names, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And I would call it almost kind of an engine building of some sort, because you have to do certain things down here to build up to get this going, and then to do everything. And it's kind of it's a hard one to explain. I mean, it's very tricky in its stuff.
Yeah,
you definitely need to play it. Like, don't play it one time and then be like, I don't like this game.
Yeah.
Because there's strategies to it, and you need to play it more than once to kind of.
Right. It seems like it's one of those things that like everything connects. Like it's it's like cogs. Like everything connects and ties.
Well, and I guess you could say the same thing about Scythe.
Right.
If you don't just play it one time, because there's some intricacies to it that you may not notice the first time you play it. And I always liked the cover. It always looked really awesome.
It does look really awesome.
But then I always was like, just doesn't, And then I played Scythe, and I was like, and then I heard about the whole card deal, and I was like, I think I might go for it. And then I ended up liking it a lot.
I've had this on my shelf of games I need to play for years.
Yeah.
Like, I know I need to play it, and I know I'll like it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why I wouldn't.
There's a lot to keep track of, but it doesn't seem like you look at the board and you watch the rules or read the rule book, and it seems like, oh my god.
Right.
But it's really easy.
I mean, see, at this point, like you've played way more games than I have, and that the number of games I've played, they all blend together. Like every game is simple if you really think about it. Like, you can't really get too complex.
Well, and I always have to. I mean, it doesn't matter if I've played it 20 times. I still have to go back and look at the rule book.
I do
set
too.
it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to kind of.
I mean, I think I have one game that I can play without having to look up rules.
Yep.
All right.
So Euphoria 66.
My number 65 is Fortune and Glory. What?
That is like one of my grails. Like, I haven't bought it yet, and I really want to play that game.
Can you still get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can buy it. I almost bought a set. A guy online was wanting. He had everything in shrink except for the base box. He had the 2 expansions in that. He was wanting like 135 shipped. I can get it for 121 shipped. Yeah. Online from a brand new.
Right. Because I have everything in the expansion. So Fortune and Glory is Indiana Jones, the board game.
I really want it.
And it's Flying Frog Productions, so like it has a roll and move mechanic, which is whatever. But no, this one is super cool. Like you feel like you're a, I don't even know what you would call it. What was Indiana Jones? What was his profession?
Architect.
An architect, I guess?
Or not an architect, an archaeologist.
Okay. And archaeologist, and you feel like you're going around, going on these extravagant adventures and then having cliffhangers and like trying to beat them to try and find these relics, which I believe are points. And the game can be played in multiple ways. It can be played semi-cooperative, it can be played cooperative or competitive. And if you play cooperative, then you bring in a new faction, which is either a cult or Nazis. I think there's a third one, but those two are the ones I've played with.
Crimson Hand, is that one?
The Crimson Hand is the cult.
Okay.
This made my top 10 worst rule books, because it's very, very bad. And so that's kind of a pain. But the board works super well. Everyone has their own unique ability. I like a co-op like way more than I like competitive. It doesn't really make sense for it to be competitive, but you can. And those cliffhangers are just really awesome, that whenever you do something and you fail it, you don't get to know what happens. You're like, ah, it's a cliffhanger! And then you go back to your turn, you reveal it, and then you have to deal with whatever it is now. Just wonky, events that can happen to you while you're out, doing whatever you need to do to try and beat the Nazis. So it's been a while since I've played it, but I won't get rid of it.
Yeah, I need to get it.
Well, then get it.
I will.
Quit talking about it.
Because you can play it solo if you play co-op. So.
Yep. Yeah. So I think you'd really like it.
Yeah.
And I think your family might like it too.
I think so.
So, yep.
All right, 65. Nations, the dice game.
Oh. Yeah, man, I kicked your ass at that game.
Yeah.
That was sad.
There's going to be an expansion coming out at Essen, or a little after Essen, I think. That's going to bring in, I think, new kind of dice, I believe, new tiles, which it needs new tiles.
It does.
It's a great game.
Don't you go through all of them, don't you?
No, well, it depends. If you play a 4-player game, then yes.
Okay.
But if you play 2, I mean, you have to leave out
a few
certain numbers.
Yeah.
But I said this earlier about Roll Through the Ages being the fastest Civ game.
Mm-hmm.
This one's probably right after that.
Yeah.
And it still is rolling dice, of course, and it's just, the problem is you don't get punished in this game.
Yep, that was what I liked about it.
Right. If you roll bad, you don't make you can't feed your people, you just don't get the victory points. And stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I mean, I've played Nations, and Nations, I hated it.
You didn't like Nations?
So
For Nations is better than Through the Ages.
This just does everything that Nations did, only in a fraction of the time. And it has a solo mode, of course, which is another bonus.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, like Nation, it was fine. Like, I just didn't really feel like I did a whole lot to get as many points as I did. I was just like, oh, okay, I did that.
Right.
I rolled this and I got Greece somehow.
Right.
But I mean, it is a dice game, so it's not a whole lot to it. Okay.
I'm waiting for the expansion.
It'll probably add
some new stuff.
Yeah. All right. 64 is Welcome to the Dungeon.
Yep.
That is a very good one. Or Welcome Back to the Dungeon. Either or. Like they're
same game, just different.
Yeah, same game, just different people.
Yeah.
Actually, Welcome Back to the Dungeon adds unique monsters.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
That you can fight and they get added. Welcome to the Dungeon is a fantastic filler game. It essentially, the theme behind it is that you're all heroes you're all villagers trying to egg on the hero to go in to the dungeon. And how you play the game is you draw a card from a deck, you look at it, it has a numeric value, and you decide if it goes into the dungeon to potentially fight later, or you can take it out and then remove a piece of equipment from the only hero in the game. Which sucks, because if you remove their strongest one, the people are just going to pass and you're going to go, and if you're the last one to pass, then you have to go in the dungeon, which means you'll get killed. So it's very limited knowledge. It's a read your opponent kind of game, which can get very intense whenever you're like, okay, how is everyone going to react if I remove this from him? Because I know I can, okay, if I take this like 8 out, then that means I won't have to fight it, but I need to remove something, and if everyone freaks out to what I removed, then I can pass and be like, okay, but now I have to fight whatever. But you don't want to do that because then there's a chance that if someone else goes in, they could survive, and then that means they'll win. You need 2 to survive the dungeon twice to win. So it's a very, very like, okay, just read your opponent and hopefully you get it right type of game. And either or is great. I like Welcome Back to the Dungeon because of the monsters, the unique monsters it adds, but either one is fine with me. So that's my number 64.
My 64. Stonemaier Games. Scythe.
Is it Scythe?
Yep.
64?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is one that I regret selling. I did the Kickstarter for the...
Do I have your Kickstarter?
Well, I sold it to John.
Okay, I have it. I have it now.
I got the collector's edition. It sat on my shelf for a while, and then I saw people were selling it for like $300, so I sold it for $300 to John. And then I played, like, the day I sold it to him, I went to Changing Hands and played somebody else's copy of it.
Oh, okay.
And it was pretty decent, you know?
Yep.
And I wish I would have kept it long enough to try I
don't remember. The solo variant?
The solo deal.
So good.
Right, and
because I had another guy make it. Like,
Right.
they had someone else come in and design the solo mode and not just be like an add-on,
Right.
kind of second thought.
and then with the expansions coming and stuff, I pulled the trigger selling it just because I got money out of it.
Right.
When I should have probably kept it, so I'll probably eventually get it back again.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else will play it with me at the house and stuff, but because it's a
Right.
one of those kind of games. But I know I can play it solo.
Right.
Because I think that solo variant comes in the base game, retail base game and stuff too. So
Yep.
so
Yeah, so the solo variant I played with the new expansion with new factions, and those factions are really good too. The new expansion that's coming out, Wind's Gambit, I think is what it's called. Adds flying factions, and so no, I mean it's a really good one. You should have kept it.
I know. I made a lot of money on it though. So.
That's fine, and I got it anyway. So I'm glad you didn't keep it because now I have it.
Right.
So, and whenever I went to Gen Con, I was able to get like all the metal coins from the expansion as well, and just all the triggers and you're missing out.
Yep, that's all right.
All right, 63 is Say Bye to the Villains.
Oh,
Have you played that game?
I've watched it played.
So Say Bye to the
I
Villains
watched how brutal it is.
is actually a game that no one ever talks about. It's you are like Japanese people, like just regular people that are about to get attacked. Your village is and it's a card game. You're about to get attacked, and you have pretty much like a morning to prepare. So you have a certain like number of action points, or hours is what they're called, to either boost yourself up, to be super strong, and then decide who you're going to fight, or help everyone else. And once everyone has passed and done, then you fight the people. Well, there's a row of villains that you have to fight depending on the number of players, and they all have a certain number of attributes that you don't know what they are. But throughout the game, you can figure out what they are and be like, okay, this is who we're all going to fight. Then you fight them, and if you all fulfill a condition, you can either, if you kill them, then you're good. It's actually pretty much if you don't die, you can win. Because if any one of you dies, then the game is over. But there's also conditions that's like, hey, if you can't kill this guy, you have to basically stalemate, which means you don't do enough damage to kill him and vice versa, then you're good. But if you do kill him, you lose. It's a brutal game. It is so hard, but it's a lot of fun as well. It's kind of one of those scenario-based games where if the cards play in your favor, you're probably going to do well.
Right.
Vice versa, if it doesn't, then you're most likely going to lose. But like, wow. But like I went out and bought it immediately as soon as playing it because I also like to be punished. Punish me, Brad. But yeah, that's my number 63. Say Bye to the Villains.
My 63 is one tiny mechanic away from being a top 10 game for me.
You're kidding.
Right.
You know you're about 50 games away from that, right?
Oh, I know.
Just mechanics
I
suck
love
that
this
bad.
game. There was one mechanic in it that just drove me nuts. It's level 7 Omega Protocol.
That's also on my shelf of games I need to play.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, and you can see what you think when you play it. All right, so it's a space deal. There's scenarios, and there's an overlord or the alien overlord.
Right.
And then the other people run full co-op. What is really cool about the game, though, probably the neatest thing about the game is the heroes take their actions. When they take actions, however many actions they take feeds how much the overlord can do.
Okay.
So if the heroes don't do much, then that limits how much the overlord can do.
Okay.
If they want to try to be really quick and advance a bunch, the overlord can just drop some shit on them.
Okay.
But what's really cool about it is that he has a dashboard down here of actions that he can take, and then he can spin those at fear. That's fear points or adrenaline. I think it's adrenaline, maybe adrenaline. But anyway, you spin those and you put them on the deal to do that event, like a roof collapse or or spawn enemy and spawn enemy, spawn enemy.
Okay.
You can do that stuff. So there's that good to and fro of stuff. Now, the part that is horrible about this game is most of these Overlord games, the Overlord is overpowered. This one, it's the opposite.
Oh, really?
I played the Overlord 8 or 9 times against this group of guys, and never won once.
Really?
I was trying my hardest.
Really?
The Marines that you control are so powerful from the get-go.
Wow.
That your people do not stand a chance. Like, they'll roll handfuls of dice, and your little peon minion guys, you get to roll like maybe 1 or 2 dice, and there's like a 33% chance of it hitting.
Gotcha.
And you're just like clink clink, and then they just roll a fistful of dice and just wipe out the room.
Just obliterate them.
And I got so pissed off at that game. That's why I got rid of it. Like if it would have been more equal, it would have been, because I love the game, the way that all that stuff. I love the miniatures. I love the whole idea of it.
There's an expansion that they made. I wonder if that balanced it out. I haven't played it.
I'll jump on your soapbox on that one. I shouldn't have to.
Right?
I've
unwrapped that box. At least it's on my shelf unwrapped.
You need to try it. You need to be the Overlord.
I always am.
Because
hey, I mean, at least like one of those games has to at least be that way. Because like others or something, it's just like, why are you guys fucking playing? I win.
Well,
and like Descent was like that too.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, we even went on because I thought, well, maybe the first scenario was easy.
Yeah.
On purpose. I went to the second and the third scenarios, and it was just cakewalk. I mean, they didn't even hardly. I mean, it was just like, oh, look, I can see him. Dead.
That's interesting because, like,
and it's
the Dice Tower talks about that game all the time.
I know, and you get to choose as the good guys your attributes and your skill sets or whatever. Like, there's little cards that you get to choose. And I don't know if maybe they just had the right combo that they always used.
Or they cheated.
Or what. But no, I mean, we looked at the rules. We dissected that rule book. And there was I just don't know. I mean, I'm not that bad at the dungeon.
Yeah, you're just garbage. I mean, I'll try it. Like, I'll put that on top of the list and play it.
Yeah, because
see if it works out.
And the line of sight is really weird.
Is it? I mean,
with line of sight.
It's always weird. Imperial Assault had weird.
Yeah, so it's really
sight.
confusing line of sight. So anyway, it's just one. It's still a great game. Just don't expect, if you're the Overlord, to really even put up much of a fight at all.
All right, I'll give it a shot. 62 is Dream Home. Dream Home skyrocketed up on here. Pretty much everything that you said about it, I don't know, like, I loved it. There was just something about it, like the fact of just building your dream home, and there was some strategy to it, of like, and like looking back, and I think I didn't have a bathroom until like the very last like round or something, and I was like, what kind of house is this? But I had a bunch of like, I had like the tree house, and I had like all the piano, and stuff like that, and it's just super fun to play. I'm very excited for the expansion to come out because it needs more. just because as anyone in this hobby, they just want more. Even though I've only ever played it once, but it was such a fun time and Kat really likes it too, so that just makes it a plus.
Right.
So yeah, I mean nothing much to say about it except it's awesome. So go get it. Stream home.
All right, my number 62.
I thought it was gonna be like a near and far scenario. Why is it 62?
Lords of Ziddit. Have you played that?
No, I have not. No.
Okay, it's a program movement game. In the world of seasons.
Okay.
And you are. It's really cool because you have a little dashboard thing in front of you that has I think 4 spinners. So you are programming 4 rounds in advance your movement and your actions.
Okay.
Because you can either there's like different colors of paths. So like you choose pink and you'll travel a pink path.
Okay.
Blue, black, whatever. Or there's recruit, or there is stay still.
Okay.
And so you're programming these 4 deals. So if you get hosed on the very first one, if somebody does something that you weren't expecting, and then you're just screwed. I mean, it's Robo Rally all over
Oh, okay,
again,
good.
Or Mechs and Minions. I'm sure if you got hosed on your.
Well, Mechs and Minions is co-op, so
Right.
So if it gets hosed, everyone's getting hosed.
So anyway, there's this. I'm assuming Ziddit is the map, the deal, and there's all these placed cities, and there will be. You'll draw a little tile, circle tile. It'll be out there, and you'll seed it with different kinds of workers. There's like archers, not workers, people. There's bishops, archers, warriors, paladins, and they each do attack different things.
Okay.
So when you go into a recruit, you have to take the first thing on that list. You can't choose.
Oh, I see.
So like you need to, if you want the second one on there, you're kind of gonna piddle around and try to maybe somebody else will go and do a recruit action before you move there and do a recruit action.
I see. Okay.
And then you get the ones you want, because then there's these monsters that are out all over the board too that are worth victory points and stuff. And to beat them, you have to have a certain combination of warriors. You know, so you need to be collecting what you need to go kill that. And as you clear out a city of soldiers, then you turn it upside down on the backs of the Titan, and then it goes into the Titan stack. And then as you defeat a Titan, then it goes over into the city stack. So it's kind of a revolving type deal. It's kind of you need to watch it. It's confusing because it's unique. There isn't anything like it.
Okay.
But when you defeat something, like you'll get these rewards of like these little tower pieces. They're like little plastic, and you can stack them up. I think 5 high is the highest it can go, and that means you have control of that area.
Okay.
It's broken. The map's broken to pieces. There's claim tokens that. You can set on there, and if you have the majority of claim tokens, then you get victory points. The other cool thing is in the very center of the board, there's like this little castle type thing that you build, a 3D castle.
Okay.
And if you defeat next to that, adjacent to that, then you can choose to drop those claim tokens in there.
Okay.
And it's hidden.
Oh,
so then
okay.
at the end you score X amount of points and all that
Kind
stuff
of like
too.
there was like the El Grande method.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a combination of a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get a lot of acclaim, you know, and it's been on clearance and stuff before.
Right.
But it's just it's a blast.
No, it does sound really unique and actually really cool.
Yeah.
So
it'll be one I'll always own because the girls love it. So
yeah,
try it sometime.
That'll be another one I'll have to try.
But it's a really good one.
All right. So, and the last one for this segment, number 61 is 5 Tribes.
61. Huh?
61.
That's sad.
Let's get skyrocket to number 10. It's so good. I love Arabian Mancala.
Yes.
And that's
I
it.
bet you Arabian Nights is higher up on your.
Arabian Nights is actually.
Okay. I was just teasing you.
No. Yeah, this is what you do. This is what you're doing. I need to find it now. Tales of Arabian Nights is my number. Stupid index cards, and they're stupid. Not easy to slide out. It was my number 120.
Thank you.
So, no, 5 Tribes is actually a really good game if you can ignore the Mancala aspect of it. I can't think of a way how they would do that game without doing that type of thing though. But every single tile has and he'll probably talk about it later on. He will talk about it later on. There's no way it's not on your list.
Actually, it's like one.
It's not even in the 135. Yeah, so each space has a unique ability that you get if you're probably going to have to talk about it a little bit more, but if you land on it, you get to do that space's ability. And what you're trying to do is it's set collection with the colored meeples as well as cards that you're trying to get, which is actually the only reason why I even stood a chance because I had so many. I got like that 60-point bonus.
Yeah.
But so you're trying to think, and it's one of those games that you can't really you just go on your turn and ignore what everyone else is doing because the board's going to change by the time it gets back to you. But you're sitting there trying to think of, okay, how do I want to maneuver these pieces around to be able to get the ability of that tile, which will help me. There's also Djinns that you can grab that are super good bonuses throughout the game or at the end of the game. And it's a really smart game that I enjoyed a lot actually, even though I didn't think I would.
I just ordered the newest expansion.
Did you?
Out of Gen Con. It's out now.
Is it? Okay.
I just ordered it. The one that adds where you can actually lose claim to places.
Oh, really?
And stuff.
Okay.
You're actually battling. You actually will fight for
That's
control
good.
of places.
That's right. That was another thing, was placing your tents and your tents? It was just tents, right?
There's tents and palm trees.
Palm trees, that's right.
Yeah.
I was thinking camels. I'm like, why camels?
Because that's what you do to show control.
Oh, okay.
Camels.
That's
when
right.
you empty out of space, you put a camel.
That's right. So yeah, that I felt would have been needed. That I would really like, and also the expansion with the thieves. There's I think one of the thieves allows you to kill someone else or take someone else's Djinn, which I think is also needed because some of them are obviously better than others. So it's actually a really fun game. But if you have any form of analysis paralysis, this is not the game for you. Like, it's really not. And I don't think I have analysis paralysis. I usually know kind of what I want to go for. And if it changes, then I'm really quick to alter it. But there are some, like, it's going to look very confusing when you place it and you're like, wait, so where can I start? Anywhere. Just anywhere.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere and do anything. Just have enough people to make it to where you want to go.
And I really think, as good as the base game is, if there's one necessity expansion, it would be the Artisans of Macalla.
Is that the one that adds the mountains?
The mountains and the extra tiles.
Yeah, I like those as well.
It just makes it, because the base game, there's nothing blocking your
you just
movement.
go
the
wherever.
Mountains you can't go over, there's a pit you can't go over, so it kind of makes you have to really
maneuver and
around.
That is true. So that's my number 61. 5 tribes.
My number 61 is one.
You should be happy it's on the list.
Oh, no, yeah, that's true. My number 61 is one that I brought up in the past that you said you wanted to play, and it is Queriers.
Oh, okay.
It is a dice building game, kind of like a deck builder. You're just you're buying dice and putting them into your bag, and then your dice act as quiddity, which is your money to buy new dice, or used to summon creatures that you roll. And then when you summon creatures, they automatically attack every other person's creatures that they have out on the board. And it's just, and if you defeat creatures, you get their glory for defeating them. That's how you get, because I think depending on player count, it ends like 15 points. Okay. Something like that. So some monsters you kill them are like 2 glory. So if you kill one of their dice like that, you give yourself 2 points. And then there's so many dice. I don't even have all the expansions for it. I don't have the Quarterfax or the Light and Dark.
Do you have the one that came in the tin?
I bought that, yeah, because I pre-ordered that version. Okay. And then Cormageddon came out. Quest of the Gladiator. Those all came out, and I just used the Cormageddon box because the insert had like an overlay that you could put all the dice in it. Oh, okay. Trays, so they were just all 5 dice or 6 dice were set next to each other, and you just pulled them out and set them. Yeah, that sounds nice. Right, because you set up the table with X amount of spell cards, X amount of creature cards, and the replayability is crazy because each card is double-sided too. So, and then you just put the dice out there, and then it has the amount of cost. So then you have to spend your liquidity to buy that. And it's just a deck building game, but you get to throw in the dice randomness aspect plus you get to kill things and attack and stuff.
And that's always fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's a fun one. I haven't gotten it to the table in quite a while, but it's one of my
we'll have
favorites.
to play it.
Yeah, it's good.
We'll have to try it. So that is it, everyone. That is 71 to 70.
70 to 61.
God dang. I think it's because whenever I think of 70 to 60, I'm like, oh, that's 9. But we're not counting 70. That is 70 to 61. Let us know what you think about the games that were on this segment. Click the eye to go to 60 to 51. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you want to support us, you can go ahead and click that link to go to my Patreon account. If you have any suggestions, you can go ahead and click the link in the show notes below to go to my Board Game Geek list. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.